Good day, guys. With Season 8 being literally only a day away now, we have the patch notes that have just been released, and there's a lot that's been changed. Wraith Nerf, Volt Nerf. We're gonna go through absolutely everything in these patch notes and tell you all the major changes. So obviously, we have Fuse, the brand new legend, the Australian, the Aussie, that I'm super excited for. And I'm super excited to get the chance to play with him, which you guys will see a video on my channel soon. As soon as Season 8 drops, I'm going to be playing with my boy Fuse, the real Fuse, the voice actor. Anyway, let's just jump straight into these patch notes. Meet Fuse, a mercenary turned cage fighter who never turns down a good dust-up. His affinity with explosions allows him to carry extra grenades and to throw them faster and further. We can launch a cluster bomb with an airburst explosive, and when it's time to really bring the boom, Fuse uses Wally to launch a bombardment that encircles an area in a ring of flames. We have seen all of this so far, and we have talked about it. So with this passive, you can carry 2 nades in 1 slot. Similar to how Watson can use 2 ultimate accelerants, his ability to throw things further and faster and more accurate is super unique and should be a lot of fun to play around with. Get some stupidly long range sticks with an arc star. His tactical airburst grenade and also his ultimate, the mother load, should be a lot of fun to play around with in the upcoming season. Now with the 30-30 repeater, it's a heavy ammo type weapon, mainly meant for longer ranges, similar to the G7 Scout. It has a slow rate of fire, but packs more damage per bullet. It also has the ability to charge up and do more damage in a single shot. Obviously, we have the Kings Canyon map changes that you guys have already seen in the trailer. We got legendary gold magazines coming into Season 8, which if you attach it to your weapon, it automatically reloads your stowed weapons after a brief delay. The gold magazine has the same capacity as purple magazine and is available for light, heavy, snipers, and energy weapons. I think this attachment's going to be super clutch when you waste ammo and swap to your other gun and then come back to swap to your other one, it already being reloaded. Could be super useful and help you take out that squad that little bit easier. Now, one of the really cool changes is they added a damage counter to the top of your screen. So if you're close to getting your damage PB or damage record, whether that be the 2K, 3K or 4K badge, you can keep track of it. So you can literally know if you should sit back and farm more damage to unlock the badge that you want to, which I think is super cool. And you can keep track of how you're going during the game, so you're not left to guess, oh, did I have a high damage game or did I not? Pinging weapons or ammos in your inventory displays your current ammo count along with player wants ammo in quick chat. I think this is good because some people ask for ammo that don't really need it at all, and then there's some ammo whores that don't want to drop any even if they've got heaps. So being able to see exactly how much the player asking for light ammo is super handy in my opinion. Into the huge change that everyone's been waiting for, hitbox adjustments to Wraith. Now, they've made Wraith thicker, but still all the Wraith mains are gonna complain, am I right? We know Wraith has always been a popular pick, considering the amount of combat utility in her kit. After many tweaks to her abilities and animations, the fact remains that her win rate continues to be at the very top, as it was since day 1. With Season 7 hitbox adjustments to Pathfinder, we're able to control his power without nerfing his kit. We hope to do the same with Wraith. Wraith now has a slightly larger hitbox than her fellow small legends, yes! But the changes stay true to her model. As you can see in the before and after, we're adding some width mostly to the torso and leg areas. So if you guys didn't know, Wraith had the smallest hitbox in the game, which made her super OP, but they've literally changed her only a tiny bit. So anyone like crying in the comment section, it ain't that big of a deal. They've made her slightly more in line with other legends in the game. Not only does she have her get out of jail free card phase and her portal, she's just a tiny bit thicker now, which I think is a lot more fair, in my opinion. I know a lot of Wraith mains are like, they're nerfing her continuously, leave Wraith alone, but it really ain't that big of a deal. They've changed a few millimeters at her waist and like at her upper legs. You're probably looking at this like, I didn't notice a difference, but there is a tiny difference. It's not that big of a deal. But hopefully it'll make her a slightly bit more balanced. But at the end of the day, Wraith mains are still going to rage quit the second they get knocked. And kind of fatter now, so maybe she'll get knocked a little bit more often. Even with the changes, Wraith remains small and hard to hit. She will retain low profile as we monitor her usage and win rates to see if power can be given back in other ways in the future. So they're going to keep an eye on how this adjustments play out. Rampart, I'm excited for this. Sheila angle increased from 120 to 180 degrees. So this is her ultimate her Sheila gun, it had like the worst range of motion. It was so triggering. They've made it better. Honestly, I think they should just make it 360 degrees. Let us just whirl away on the Sheila gun to our heart's content. Because honestly, it can be good, and I've wiped squads with it before, but it's super situational. If someone sees you have a rampart gun set up, they're not going to go anywhere near you, and they're just going to spam you with frag grenades. But it's slightly better now, I guess, and also the biggest change, in my opinion, is the war health in build phase increased from 1 HP to 45 HP. Sniper rounds will still pierce through, so it will be less easy for players to just one-tap all your walls. It being 45 HP, a wingman should be able to one-tap them as you try to build them, but like guns like the alternator will take like 3 or 4 bullets to shoot it down instead of just 1 bullet, which will make it a tiny bit more viable, and I think it'll be a lot stronger in my opinion. Rampart has remained at the bottom across our performance metrics since her release. Yeah, it's always the biggest meme, nobody choosing Rampart, and there being 13 Rampart mains in the entire game, but honestly, I've had a lot of fun playing her. You guys know I've had a few thousand kills with her, and I've also got the 20 badge with her, so I've used her a bit, but yeah, she was definitely on the weaker side of things, but hopefully this improves that, and hopefully more people play Rampart, and Rampart will be less of a meme. Horizon, gravity lift effective cooldown increase from 21 seconds to 25 seconds. The 15-second cooldown timer will now start when the gravity lift disappears. So Horizon mains will still have her tactical ability to go to the moon, but she will get it less often, and I think that's fair. She's still going to be really viable, but she will have her L1 to the moon a little bit less often, which I think is fair. Now, Octane, they actually buffed up a fair bit here in my opinion. Octane, Launchpad Remastered. Many players have known about the Octane super jump that was possible with a well-timed jump while hitting the pad. Once a double jump option was introduced, there was an input clash that led to an unreliable usage. We decided to add some launch options that are better defined than the old super jump. Hitting the jump pad from a standing position will launch players along a high arc, the speed and trajectory of the old super jump. From a crouch position, players will launch along with a low arc, meaning they'll fly lower but further in horizontal direction. So apparently with this change, I've heard that Octane's jump pad is like more of a super jump now, and you can actually buff it to create more of a distance. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out though. They've made it so crypto drones can't be stuck with arc stars. You didn't see that often, but players could stick the drone and fly it into enemies and do extra damage. So they've nerfed that, even though you rarely ever see that. That's probably more of a competitive side of things. Loot inside unopened care packages is now visible with the eye for quality and accessible in the black market. So Loba will be able to get like PKs and Cravers and steal them off you if she's in radius. Caustic gas now dissipates as soon as the Caustic team is eliminated. That's a good change. I'm glad that's finally here. There's nothing worse than killing a Caustic team than dying to the gas after they're all dead. And finally, Mirage, my little baby. They've finally done the buff that they said they did like a few months ago, and Mirage Decoys create footstep noise now. They did try to do this before, but it didn't really work, and I think they've fixed it, so it does work now. This change was mistakenly mentioned in the Fight Night patch notes that was in fact coming in this patch. Okay, so they accidentally told us it was coming before they actually implemented it. So it wasn't a glitch, they just never actually did it and put it in. Okay, that makes perfect sense now, I guess. They told us they brought it out before they actually did. Okay, weapon meta. Fully kitted weapons, so these are the gold weapons. They removed all the old season ones and they've added the 301, the 303 repeater, the new gun, the Mozambique, longbow, DMR, and Spitfire. Other weapons being gold that you can find on the ground. We're removing the gold barrel from the loot pool. If you guys didn't know, the gold barrel was basically like the purple barrel. It didn't give you any less recoil. It's supposed to give you less muzzle flash, but seeing as they reduced muzzle flash a few seasons ago, it really didn't do anything, almost. So they've removed it. The purple barrel basically does exactly the same thing anyway, so that's not a big deal. Hop-ups, the double tap hop-up will be removed from the loot pool. I don't think many people use that. Some people might be upset. And they've added anvil rounds back into the game. So they got rid of double tap, added anvil rounds. So that's like your flatline and your R301 single fire, extra damage. I really do think the anvils got used more than the double tap, but both of them weren't really that popular. The Volt. Okay, guys. It has been nerfed into the ground. Not really. They literally nerfed it by 1 damage. From 16 damage a bullet to 15 damage a bullet. Yes, it'll probably make a little bit of a difference. The Volt is extremely strong. It's one of the best SMGs, assault rifles, snipers in the game. So it makes sense. I love the Volt. But its damage being decreased very slightly, I think, is a good change going in the right direction. Alternator bullet damage increased from 15 to 16. So now the Alternator does more damage than the Volt, but honestly, the Alternator doesn't shoot anywhere near as fast or as accurate. So I still think the Volt will be better, but the Alternator might be more viable now. The Spitfire, they increased from 18 damage to 19 damage, but they also made it so the reload takes longer. So it does more damage, but the reload takes longer now. This is an interesting one though. The EVA 8's fire rate has been increased from 2.0 to 2.1. So not the biggest change, but honestly, it might be the only change that's needed. I do enjoy using the EVA. I'm looking forward to that because let's be real here. Mastiffs have dominated the game for way too long. And then the rest of the patch notes are just a bunch of bug and quality of life fixes that don't really change that much and aren't that interesting. If you want to read all the little bug fixes, go check out the patch notes yourself. A link will be down in the description below. But I finished covering what I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you're looking forward to Season 8, which is literally just around the corner now. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys back here for Season 8, hopefully. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like. If you didn't like it, dislike. Doesn't really matter to me. Anyway, peace out. Have a wonderful day.
You guys, listen to this. Watch this.
Mighty Zeus, god of thunder from down under.
Anybody have a lozenge? That really, I might be bleeding in the throat right now.